Hi, Saen Higgins. And the question is, can you buy a property with a tax lien? Buying a property with an existing tax lien on it can be very profitable. And we're going to discuss that in this video. So in this video, I'm going to show you when you're doing your research, when you see a lien, an existing tax lien on the property, that doesn't mean anything. That means money is about ready to come into your bank. Okay, and at the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to profit, not just a little, but big with this. There are certain ways you can utilize this to guarantee returns on your money. And we're going to share that with you in this video. Okay, let's look at the facts. Facts, they don't care about your feelings, as they say. The fact of the matter is, if somebody fails to pay their property taxes off, the county can conduct a sale. At that sale, you and I can buy those tax liens. Let's say I didn't know about it. Let's say there was a sale last year on 123 Main Street and somebody bought the lien on that property. And I come along and I've watched Sean's video. He's just a really nice guy on video on YouTube, and I love his videos. Matter of fact, anytime you see one of Sean's videos, I always like to like him, subscribe, and make comments in there because he always responds to all of his comments in there. So you're watching these videos, you're learning how to do this, you're going through the whole process, and you go, wait a second. This property already has a tax lien from a previous year. Oh, maybe I shouldn't buy it. No, contraire, as they say. Okay, if I buy another tax lien on that property, so let's say that Joe bought a lien in 2021, Susie bought a lien in 2022, and I'm sitting here in 2023 and I'm going to buy a lien on that year. Do these two liens affect my position? And the answer is a big fat no. The only other lien that you will not eliminate in a tax foreclosure is another tax lien certificate. I want you to think about the logic. I've got other videos on what the difference between general liens and tax liens are, but it's a tax lien certificate that's owed to the county. So if Joe foreclosed on the property and got the property and didn't eliminate these two other positions plus their interest rate, then Sue could foreclose, and then I could. In order to foreclose on the property properly, the county would require Joe to bring the taxes up in current. Okay, so regardless of where I buy the lien, it doesn't really matter. So if I'm sitting over here in third position, Joe's liens expire. So in other words, his redemption period is over. Now he has the opportunity to foreclose on the property. Yeah, he would have to notify everybody, the banks and stuff like that. He doesn't necessarily need to notify me, because in order to properly start the foreclosure process, the first thing that the county would require him to do is to bring all the taxes up in current. So he would bring the taxes up in current. They'd go, oh, Sue and Sean own two different liens on this, and they would issue us our check plus our interest rate within 5 to 10 business days before the end of the foreclosure process, because there's no way they're going to let him foreclose on a property without paying the property taxes on it. And whether the property owner hasn't paid it or I haven't paid it, the county doesn't care. Those have to be brought up in order to issue clear title later on. So what does that mean for you and I? That means that if you and I are looking at tax lien certificates and you see another tax lien from a previous year on that, all you're thinking is, well, maybe I buy this lien and this person, the only advantage, I guess, if you would say that, yeah, I guess, that this person would have is their redemption period might expire first. So in other words, if Joe bought the lien over here and I bought the lien over here, his 3-year redemption period to start the foreclosure would start first. In order to start that foreclosure, again, he would have to bring the taxes up in current. They would see that myself and Sue were on there and pay it off. So I always get people, what's the best lien to buy? There is no best tax lien. They're all equal in value. Now, here's another part of that. I know some of you are thinking that right now. I know what you're thinking. I can feel it. Ooh. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, what if Joe doesn't foreclose? He doesn't have to. When his redemption period is over, he's not required to foreclose on it. He can. If he decides not to foreclose on it, he's still earning his 18%, 16%, or whatever the case is. Now Sue's redemption period is over. She can foreclose on the property, but just like Joe, in order to foreclose on the property, she would have to first go down to the county and do what? You got it. Bring the taxes up in current. Joe and me, we'd get paid. Boom. We'd get our money back plus the interest rate. Okay. What if Sue doesn't start the foreclosure process? We can keep going on here. Again, if I started the foreclosure, I don't even understand that there's a lien on the property. It doesn't matter to me. I would go into the county and I would say, hey, 3 years have come and gone. It's time for me to foreclose on the property. What do I need to do? Well, first thing you have to do is, you got it, bring the taxes up to date and current, and it's $4,000. I don't sit there and go, well, who are the other lien holders? And I don't want to pay them. It doesn't matter whether you want to. In order to even proceed forward, I would have to bring up all the taxes and penalties up to date to the county, and then they would allow me to go forward. So Sue and Joe would get their money, just like I would have, within 5 to 10 business days. So buying a property with a tax lien on it is not a big deal, okay? Now, buying a property with a tax lien on it is still possible. You just ain't gonna get clear title till somebody comes down and pays those taxes on it. So the county doesn't care. You buy it all you want. You guys can swap away. But I ain't giving the final owner a clear title on this until we get paid. And if we don't get paid within a prescribed amount of time, the new owner is going to lose the property. So it's just so rock solid when you look at it that way. So this brings up another strategy. There are ways where you can go in and you can say, hey, listen, you've got a tax lien on this property. Are you going to redeem? No, we're not going to redeem. We don't have the money. Our parents died. We just want to get rid of the property. How about if we do this? You can sign the property over to me. I will assume the taxes on this property, pay everybody else, and I'll get the property free and clear. Oh, that's a great idea, Sean. Why wouldn't they just do it? I don't know. Why didn't they just pay the taxes on it in the first place? There are so many caveats to this, and you've got to be aware of all of them. And these are just a few. So remember, regardless of which lien you own on the property, in order to properly get the property back, you have to issue a foreclosure notice to everybody. That would include other lien holders. Actually, you don't even issue the notice to them. You have to bring it up in current, then you can issue the notice to everybody else. They will have a fixed time. So a typical county will allow 60 days. 60 days from the time of foreclosure till it's no more. They have no more time to come in there. The IRS is the only exception. If there is an IRS lien, tax lien, income tax lien on a property, when I issue the notice, I do believe at this recording they have 120 days. And that's pretty much all across the United States. So once the property owner has or the foreclosee, the lien holder, has notified the IRS, they have 120 days. Let me tell you something. If the IRS doesn't come in within 120 days, make no mistake about it, they no longer have a legal right to foreclose on the property. Their position is null and void. They can go get their money another way, but it ain't gonna be my property, okay? Again, it doesn't matter what general lien is on there. If you follow these procedures every single time, you're going to be golden. So the other question is okay, well, what type of properties can I buy a lien on? Great question. And guess what? Any property. I want you to think about this. Don't get tunnel vision. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't get locked in one way to do it. Like, I must buy single family residential property. It could be warehouse. It could be commercial. It could be that piece of property that you've seen forever. Start doing some research. Or maybe it's just a property that the owners have passed and the family doesn't know what to do to the property. There is a huge amount of those properties coming up. You got baby boomers that are, I don't care how many push-ups or vitamins you take, we're getting older, okay? And the bottom line is there's a lot of property that isn't properly put into any kind of a trust or a document or a will that gives those over to the family and gives explicit instructions on what to do. So I can't even tell you the amount of times I've gotten a hold of a piece of property and the owners of the property. I'm doing one right now as this is recording. There's 3 siblings involved. They're arguing about it. We got a 21% discount on the property as long as we pay cash and get them out of the property. That's all they want. They're tired of arguing. so many different opportunities. But like anything there's a whole bunch of pitfalls that you want to be careful of. Okay, you don't want to fall into any of these. It's super important. This is your hard-earned money. Don't make any mistakes. You know how you don't make any mistakes? You click on the link below. I've got a brand new course that's going to walk you step by step on how to avoid all of the pitfalls with investing in tax lien certificates and how to get your family to win big. That's HigginsMethod.com. Just click the link down below. I'll see you on the other side. God bless and good luck.